in this event has ever won a World Championship.
Yeah, and for me, I also do think it will be a close match because Big, as we've alluded to earlier, they've been through this situation twice where they managed to flip their fortunes within 24 hours and then built insane amounts of momentum that they were able to capitalize on. But the question is, can they really deliver on that promise? That's the bigger question. And for me, I feel like Solary got that little bit more edge of consistency to get through the finish line ahead. So I will predict a close win for Solary, but a Solary win nonetheless. As we're making our way through the picks and bans now, which have started, Twisted will be the first ban courtesy of Big.
Yeah, it is Twisted, Backflip, being the bans here, as you can see. And now, what will happen? We're gonna have Dive as the pick there. Cosmos and Dive being the first two maps. So it's already starting with a banger. Then Serve also being picked. So a lot of water has already happened. Let me quickly write that down here, actually, because that is just banging to see a Dive here so early on. So they were just spamming in the pick and ban. So let's see if they can catch Solary off guard.
Let's see if they can catch Solary off guard. They also went for the GeForce pick, which is a very good power pick on the side of Big, as we've been witnessing over the course of this weekend. And then we see the last few picks coming in on the side of Solary and Big. Edge will be map 5, Tubes map 6, Tempest will be the decider.
What a fast pick and ban here. And I do think that this pick and ban actually goes into favor for Big, because Edge is a good map for them. Tempest, maybe as a decider, could be very crucial for them. And could be the decider here eventually, but also Tubes, Tempest, good maps for them in the ending. But I do think if Big goes into the match like that, if we have a Dive, good map for them, GeForce, I do think it's as well, and Edge, those are for me maps where Big can perform really well on. But I mean, we have to check out, I mean, they play against Beck and Carl Jr. Those are not easy targets to play against, so let's see how that goes. Good luck and have fun to the teams. Whoever gets eliminated here will be 5th, 6th in the World Championship of 2023.
Yeah, indeed, and we were mentioning GeForce. For me, I feel like from the, as we said, putting into context the performances that we've witnessed from Big on GeForce over the course of the first 2 days of competition, I really do believe that pick from Big as map 4 is going to be giving him a little bit of a lifeline in case something goes awry in the very first 3 maps. In the meantime, we are getting started there for our very first game of the day, and our opener will be Cosmos with the top-down finish, giving us a lot to live up to.
Yeah, I really look forward to this map. Massa and Granadi recapitalizing from a shaky Gamers First. They have the identity out very well, but the question is, can they beat the pace from Carl Jr. and Pack? I mean, they have great PBs. Pack scratching or surpassing the sub-113 barrier here, and also Carl Jr. with a very consistent performance. So here we go. Match number 1 is ongoing. We start off on Cosmos, which is the first pick from Solary. So let's go into round number 1 and see who's coming the best out of that one, as we follow the perspective from Pack at the moment. Goes a bit wider there, has a lot of speed to work with though, but no one has made that mistake so far. Going with a free wheel, important to hold that third gear there, and we can already see Massa, the bad boy of the Trackmania scene, dropping the gear, and he's a bit further behind already.
A little bit further behind already, but not that far back that it is really penalizing at this early stage on the round. And in the meantime, in his teammate Granadi, it will be a lead position actually assumed after the start of Sector 2 to that first top-down perspective point of view there. In the meantime, we still see Carl continuing to keep himself toe-to-toe with the wheelman from Germany, and Pack also keeping himself right within contention, but a little bit of a slow exit from the plastic there is going to be compromising the exit speed from that corner for the Brits, as he will be falling within the clutches of Massa and Granadi. Unfortunately, a huge slowdown at the start of Sector 3 there.
Yeah, Granadi with a small touch there by the looks of it, but Massa was able to bounce back very nicely in this round and finds himself in the fight with Pack here, the 2016 world champion from the United Kingdom. And wow, what a good checkpoint from Carl Jr. as well here in that first round. It can be usually very hectic, and players, of course, have a lot on the line here. Can Solary find the ace? Yes, they can. Carl Jr. with a great identity. Granadi and Massa both with small mistakes, but only 0.3 of a second behind Tom. So that was not a bad round, and they should not feel discouraged by this round.
Yeah, the outcome doesn't really exactly tell the whole story here on this particular opening round, because they were in contention all the way through. It was just that extra bit of brinksmanship that Pack proved to have in his hands to actually commit for the full inside line at the last turn, as unfortunately Massa once again gets caught out of the hairpin and thus will be losing a lot of speed by barely grazing the wall on the inside, and thus he will be left out of contention and has to rely on his teammate to pick up the slack heading into Sector 2.
Yeah, Granati with a very good start though, but also Pack and Carl Jr. are not too far behind. Carl Jr. currently on 3rd position, 13% crashes, 28% top ones. Let's take a look onto Pack actually and see what he did. 32% top one, so a little bit of a better top one ratio, but 60% win rate for them in either of those matches is just speaks for themselves. And right now they just want to extend their lead, they want to go for that ace, but Granati is there to have a saying as well. Massa 1 second behind, Granati with a good line, but I think like Carl Jr. will have a bit more speed here with that wide approach. Let's see, will this be enough? It is so close, Granati risking so much. Good pace in this round, it's still do or die for Granati, who has to at least deny the ace from Solary, and he can even get the victory, but it's not enough. 0.04 of a second, but still at least securing a point. He needs to rely on his teammate Massa to perform in the next round, else the map is slipping out of their hand. But of course, it's also Solary's first map pick.
That was a very, very close call on the side of Granati there before at the entrance into the final corner, where he looked to be a little bit too close for comfort to hitting that first pole when he tried to get the car inscribed to that long right-hander. As we make our way now through round number 3, through the start, following the perspective of Pack right now, the Englishman from Team Solary. We didn't get the proper slide set up on the side of Granati, and so he will be falling way back down, and this time the roles are reversed. On the big side, it will be up to Massa to try and hold the fort right now for the German organization, currently still holding the lead right within the coattails of Pack's 2nd place, and Carl Jr. sitting a little bit further back, but still within position of actually clawing that gap back.
Yeah, what a good fight here for that top 3. So now it is Massa performing, but he also now is relying on his teammate to make some damage, and Solary just with a consistent and also super fast performance here, performing really well on Cosmos, but it's not over just yet, as Massa can definitely deny the victory or even ace towards his friends Pack and Carl Jr. The German player currently still leading, Granati with a respawn, so he's still out on that one. Let's follow Pack. He has to go for the attack if they want a victory here, as Massa gets a great checkpoint here as well, a 0.16 with a good identity. We could see a sub 113 time, but Pack coming closer to Massa has a bit more speed here in the ending. Will this be enough? It will barely not be enough. 16,000ths of a second. Massa, however, getting first, but again, it's already one member, or in every round it's one member of Big not performing, so they need more than that. It is a draw, only 2 points for Big. They have to get an ace now.
They do have to get an ace, and it feels like that somewhat confident positioning on round 1 that they had has been completely lost over the course of the last 2 rounds here on the side of the German duo, and they do need to get a little bit of a pick-me-up in order to actually find that place back, and that pick-me-up comes in the forms of 3 extra points. They do need an ace no matter what, as you said. Through the hairpin we go, everybody keeping the gear, nobody falling victim to that very, very deceptive hairpin there, as we go through the end of Sector 1, through the plastic, and unfortunate clip on the side of Massa there, that will be relegating him to last place, about half a second down before the top-down section.
Yeah, Massa with another small mistake there, similar to round number 1 and 2. So now it is Granati trying to fight his way back into this map here as he fights it out with Carl Jr., but they need more than that. Even if Solary gets only 1 point in this round, it's still enough to set themselves up for a map point in the next round. But now Pack with a mistake, letting Massa to overtake him, but Granati not with the best line there, so it is Carl still in the lead, and this is a pretty hectic round, as we've seen a lot of small mistakes, but it seems like Pack finding his way back into 3rd position. Good line there, but had to go for a drift due to a worse angle compared to Massa, but Pack can get a good ending, good approach there as well. He will have a bit more speed than Massa, more inside, and he will go for the overtake. Yes, he will. Carl Jr. with a new PB, and it's another victory and a very solid performance from Solary on this map so far.
Yeah, very, very strong showing. A 113.118 for Carl Jr. here for the round winning time, and they put themselves on map point attempt number 1 here on Cosmos. Only a victory is needed for them to close this first map out and then have a little bit of an advantage over Big overall in the series. Everybody making it through this hairpin with the gear still being kept. Through the plastic we go, a little bit of a lift on the side of Pack to try and regain grip early, and that has paid off big time for the man from the United Kingdom, currently going toe-to-toe with Massa and Carl Jr. This is a really tightly knit top 3 now.
Yeah, very tight battle here. Actually, top 4. Granati a little bit further behind, but only 0.2 of a second. I think he can come back. The real player from Germany, currently on 4th, but getting a good trajectory there. But look at that hectic fight here for that first place between both Solary members and Massa. Massa needs to find that first position to deny the map victory to Carl Jr. and Pack. Let's see. Will they go for that? Massa currently leading, so this could still be going into Big's favor if they get 2 back-to-back aces there. But for that, both have to perform. Massa with a great checkpoint, point 11.
103.1 on 8 indeed, but Massa and Pack are still waiting to pounce, and Pack making the move for the lead. Can Carl Jr. try to capitalize on that? Massa capitalizes, doesn't capitalize on that particular end of the round because of that little pole touch at the very end. And that is going to be gifting the ace to Solary to conclude this map on a score of 11-3 and thus take the lead in the series.
I think Big had to get out of their comfort zone there, but only 3 points being collected there for them. So that is unlucky, but of course it was also Solary's power pick, just getting that comfortable 1-0 into the match. And now we're going to jump into a quite unconventional pick, a pick that Airwalk respect, that now Team Wild was scared of to pick. This map was open in their match in the middle stage. It is Dive.
Dive, a map that we've seen less than 10 times over the course of the entire World Championship. I think, counting the time we played from yesterday, was I think 7 times that we've seen this map being played over the course of the entirety of this 2023 World Championship. So a very rare occurrence and potentially a treat to watch as we are getting underway right here, right now with round number 1 on map 2. Following the perspective of Carl Jr. right now for the start. The first dip underwater with the reactor, then slowly make your way out of that said water before getting through this long left-hander with still a little bit of wet wheels, even though you had a little bit of batch of the dirt to dry out your tires. And unfortunately for Pack, he went a little bit too wide and thus will be clubbing a roll on the outside at the end of Sector 1.
Already looking really good here for Granadi and Massa. In yesterday's match, in the Alliance match, it was, I suppose, we have also seen this map and the pace was not there. It was 1 second behind the world record on average, so it is a very hard map to pick up. And Granadi and Massa are certainly doing their homework right now as they are currently getting an ace here in this round if they survive, of course, but Massa maybe saves a bit too much. Pack coming closer.
Pack coming closer, but is it enough to actually mount something and that is somewhat tangible to take second place right now? It doesn't look like it is the case as he continues to be quite a ways away, about half a second down compared to the German trio. Massa and Granadi will be finishing hand in hand, 0.08 of a second separating these two, and this is a strong statement of intent right there on this first round. 3-0.
Very important ace there to start off all things. So those picks kind of remind me of each other. You know, Solary going for a very, very good power pick for them. Cosmos looked very strong. I mean, Big had a chance, but they had to risk in order to make some damage because they just drove solid times round after round. And now Big, with an ace here, just getting a very good start into this match.
Getting a very good, yeah, so far this map is looking to have a really, really solid footing on like Pack's perspective right now, where he went a little bit too tight on the inside of this long right-hander. Massa unfortunately going too wide at the dip into the water, and thus will be clobbering the wall on the outside, allowing Pack to move up into 3rd place right now as we head into Sector 3. Carl versus Granadi, and currently it is advantage to Granadi by 2/10 before the high-speed section.
Yeah, very tense fight here between Carl Jr. and Granadi still coming into play. Carl Jr. taking a lot of risk. He knows that they have to get a victory on this one to somewhat come back because an ace is just so overpowered. Granadi not with the best amount of speed. Carl Jr. coming closer. Carl Jr. overtaking. Let's follow Granadi's POV. He goes for a little bit of a more risk, and he will overtake. Carl Jr. will get 2nd place though with a new PB. Pack on 3rd, Massa on 4th. So that is the draw, and of course heavily advantageous for Berlin International Gaming because they got that ace in round number 1.
That is a very, very solid bit of jousting that we had on the side of Granadi and Carl Jr. there over that identity parts in this round, where we saw Carl, having carried a little bit more exit speed from the corner beforehand, take advantage of that speed to move up into the lead, albeit very briefly, as Granadi had a much better setup compared to the Canadian. As we see Pack once again, 2 out of 3, he caught that outside wall there, and thus it would be promoting Massa and Granadi up into 1st and 2nd, but Carl Jr. is right there waiting in the wings.
I really like the pick here from Berlin International Gaming. I think the pick and ban really, it goes too big, and due to that, I do think that we're gonna see a very close match here that is coming up, maybe even going all the way down to Tempest. But Carl Jr. with an insane amount of speed here into the section. His teammate has respawn, but again, how well does Big play the format? Do they care about that first position? Do they just take that 1 point and let Carl Jr. do whatever he wants? You know, it doesn't really matter too much because they are still leading. Unless both of them do not crash, it is good. But look at Granadi's speed here. Granadi with the overtake on Carl Jr. Granadi will get the victory for his team.
And what a time as well, though. 100.258 from the wheelman from Germany, coming back from almost a 10.5 to 2 tenths down to 500ths in the lead at the checkered flag. That is some driving.
Yeah, and let's take a look onto Pack. Pack with a lot of mistakes here, I would say, on this map. 1 minute, 0.89 as his PB. World record is a 59.68 by Stuft, who has been playing this teammate alongside with his teammate Wizzy a lot of times, and Pack with another mistake. Doesn't really feel it on that one. So maybe Solary wasn't really expecting that pick here. And Massa and Granadi swarming out into first and second again, but Carl Jr. also looking very solid, but Granadi's identity in the last one was just very nice. But now he makes that mistake, so he's out on that one. Lost a lot of speed, so also Pack will overtake him and let jump into the fight here for that first position.
It's down to a 2-horse race at the front, and this is very important actually for Solary, because it could actually mean a victory at the end of the day if Carl Jr. can get past Massa and he tries to go about doing that particular scenario happening. And Massa forced to go for a little bit of a wider exit and thus forced to slow down, allows Carl Jr. to slip through into first place before the start of the identity. But now can Massa actually fight back and try to retake that first place away from the Canadian? And the answer so far is a no, and it will remain a no up until the checkered flag with a 0.313 for CJR. Massa second, Pack in third, and thus Solary will allow themselves to bridge the gap back down to 3 points, but Big also on map point number 1 of themselves.
Yeah, I think the momentum is really important there for Solary. You could have seen Pack just saying, come on, in the camera. I've seen that, and that gives them a bit of hope, because with an ace they would equalize the scoreline. But we see Carl Jr. and Pack both not with a good start, so this is Granadi and Massa now leading by a huge gap already. Carl Jr. is alone now because Pack made another mistake. I think this is over. Big will win map 2.
That is quite a stinker of a start, as the Brits would say, as yeah, that has clearly given the round ace on a silver plate for the time being for Massa and Granadi. But let's not rush things too much. They still need to make it to the checkered flag. Carl can still try to take advantage of a very critical mistake. For instance, a unfortunate respawn from the red side to try and split the duo apart, but right now it is not looking like this scenario will happen for the time being. It's all down to the identity, and yeah, Granadi saving a bit too much indeed. This is the window of opportunity for Carl Jr. to come back in. Can Granadi rely on his supreme ending to retake second place? Oh, and we see a huge stop on the side of CJR. Granadi also had a little bit of a wall touch. It was very much on the ragged edge for both. But Massa first, Granadi second when it mattered the most for Big. 10-4 for the red side, who equalize the series 1-1.
Massa also with a very good time there, 0.29 there from him. And, well, I think this pick worked out very well for Massa and Granadi, as you can see in it there. It is 1-1, and now we go to another map that incorporates a lot of water, a foot bath section as well, as you want to call it. It is Surf.
Surf, indeed. Yeah, it does indeed. It does have that foot bath section that we're actually witnessing. But more importantly, the main mechanic here and the main standout feature is the glider with the reactor boost, where you have to get a proper zoom into the identity, and then the chicane that comes a little bit earlier at the start of Sector 2, you use your brake to pivot the car to get yourself in the proper line, the straightest path possible through that chicane, but you got to be very wary on the exit, not to go too wide, because there is a flag mass waiting for you at the top of the hill if you're not careful. And we're already getting started with round 1 of map 3.
Yep, flag indeed, as there's also a bug site here at the start. As you can see, Pack doing it very well. I've seen Carl Jr. and Pack playing this map yesterday a little bit, and they looked very solid on that one. I mean, it's their second pick. So you are... I mean, I think Big is maybe prepared for this one. As you can see, they get a really good start. They're on first and second right now. So they're like, it looks really good for Big in this round already. First and second place, who would have thought that? But of course, it's not over until the fat lady sings, as Granadi is currently in the lead. But Pack with a good line as well, coming close. It's an insanely close round here, Tom.
Oh, that sideways moment from Granadi, almost close to touching that flag mast with the right rear. Manages to keep it on the road, but right now it's Massa currently being shuffled to the back of the field. Currently sitting in P4 with Carl and Pack climbing this together. But Granadi continuing to streak away the lead. Does he get the proper zoop in there? The answer is a yes. Everybody gets the zoop. Granadi will retain his lead. Now Massa, can he try to convert it to his second place? That was a bit of a slow exit from the first corner. And now Pack and Carl. Pack going on the assault versus Granadi for the lead. Versus the line. Indeed, the final hairpin. It does not pay off so far. 0.833. 0.004 of a second of a difference between first and second place. And that allows Big to hold on to the draw.
Yeah, just to the draw there. Just a couple of thousands there between all of those players. And it is Solary not getting too much out of their pick here so far. I mean, that was also a good round for them. It is 1-1 though, all things considered. And let's jump into round number 2. as we see Carl Jr., Granadi, Pack, and Massa getting a really good start. All of them. It is such a great fight again. It's neck and neck between them, but Granadi and Massa still getting the best out of it here as they are first and second, but they gradually lost it here in this section. And also now I think Massa made a small mistake, so he needs to round his teammate Granadi to not let their team fall more behind.
Yeah, Massa suffering a setback at the entry into that glider chicane, so it's going to be all down to Granadi to try and hold the fort as best as he can for the Berlin International Gaming contingent. But right now it is looking pretty solid again before the entry into the identity right there. A 10th the gap between himself and P2, but Carl Jr. with a great entry into the identity compared to even his teammate, and Granadi was trying to mount the challenge, but it's not enough. Can Pack try to do something about it? The answer is a no through the hairpin. Went way too wide, way too deep into the corner, so ultimately scrubbed way too much speed off, and thus Granadi will hold on to that first place with the 101.032, 2-2 at the end of round 2.
Great match so far here. Not the fastest times per se, as we've seen plenty of times below the 1 minute threshold. The top 10 fastest time is from Epos, set on the 14th of October. It's a .69, so that is a nice time, but you can see that there's still more potential from the teams on this map, and they can certainly drive faster times. But do they want to? Do they want to push the maximum and maybe just make a mistake in the identity? And I do think so. If Granadi did it really well there, but I do think that we gonna see a pace improvement on this round.
Yeah, I really do think so. This is one of those maps that is just waiting to see maybe a 10th to be shaved off from the top times that you see on the top left of the screen right there. Currently, Granadi having taken a really good line through the plastic, getting himself back into top 3 contention. Carl Jr. being shuffled to the back and barely touching the wall with the left trio, thus will be forced out of the running on this round. Pack currently leading just ahead of Granadi and Massa. Massa trying to go with a very aggressive entry into that first corner of the glider part of the identity. Granadi still fighting the connect with Pack through the final hairpin. We go. Can Pack have the better exit to the line?
God.
And it's going to be Pack retaining the lead. 0.795 versus a 0.797. And at the end of the third round on this third map, it is 3-3.
But still such a good performance from Big here on this map. Solary cannot really find the opener here to get some points out of it, and even in this previous round it was Big having the upper hand, only getting denied by 0.002 of a second there from Pack, but also a great time from Granadi, a 0.79 there. Very good time from the German player, as we see now Carl Jr. not getting the best start, so another opportunity for Big. We're just looking super consistent here on this map to get themselves some points or at least a draw.
Right now, it's all down to Massa to try and turn up the wick a little and try to find the solutions to the problems that he encountered in the previous rounds. But right now, Granadi just has that little bit extra something over the hill in the plastic there. And that's unfortunately a very, very low line, too low of a line through the wall ride that will consign Granadi into last position for sure. And so it will be down to Massa to try and bring at the very least a point home for Big. He has to hold on to second place, but Carl Jr. is right there waiting to pounce, waiting to try and go for one last move in the hairpin. He tries to go for it, and Massa cracks and touches on the inside of the hairpin at the very, very final part of the corner, and that is going to be giving the upper end to Solary, and the time from Pack as well, 0.640 for the Englishman, as that will allow Solary to make the break.
Yeah, this is now lining itself into Stuft's array of times. He had top 2 to top 7 fastest times on this map, just behind Pack's world record. So that is very nice, but also you could have heard, I think you heard that scream there from Pack as well. That was a relief there that has happened, but also 2 individual mistakes from Big have happened in this round. But of course, it is Solary's pick. But Big looking strong. Not in this round though. The start is not really going into their favor because Carl Jr. and Pack are in the lead, but Massa and Granadi not too far behind Tom.
Moving on to the second sector with the reactor chicane, and we see already tandems starting to reform again, continuing to try and work together, try to find themselves in a pretty solid position, and now this is really, really close in terms of the race now through Sector 2. Just a 10th between first and last at the moment. Heading into Sector 3, we see Granadi going full outside, managing to go from third to first in the snap of a finger, just like that, heading through the identity right now with the glider part. Granadi, Carl, Pack, 1, 2, 3, but Granadi messes up the entry through that chicane, and that will allow Carl and Pack to move up into first and second. Will they retain it up until the end? Yes, yes. Yes, with a bit too wide of an exit from Granadi, sending him on a collision course with the outside wall just before the finish line. And thus Carl and Pack, with 2 back-to-back aces, found themselves on map point number 2 of their own.
Big looked so strong here on this map at the start of the race, but they were not able to get a victory or an ace. So there you go, Solary can win their second pick here as well. as they only need to get 1 second place. So let's see who's gonna get that. Carl Jr. with a great start. Massa and Granadi, it is ace or bust for them, theoretically. I mean practical, because they should not lose this map here, as Carl Jr. gets a good start, but gets overtaken by Granadi here, but so close again. Only 0.1 of a second, just 30 seconds into the rounds.
Granadi assuming the lead at the end of the reactor boost glider chicane. Again, Massa going so close to the flag mast with the right rear, and now Carl Jr. going toe-to-toe with Granadi for the lead and making the move midway through the wall ride, moving into the lead at the start of sector number 3 there, as Granadi continues to hunt him down very, very quickly for the identity.
Yeah, oh, and you can see 2 players not getting the zooms by the likes of Carl Jr. and Granadi, but it doesn't matter. Massa with a respawn with a mistake, and that's all she wrote. Solary will win their second pick, and they go into the lead again.
And to think that it all started with 3 draws back-to-back. There was a slight glimmer of hope maybe for Big to try and salvage something, but then ultimately individual mistakes happened on the side of the red team, and 3 back-to-back aces is something you just cannot get back up from.
Yeah, that is very hard to just come back from, even though the first 3 rounds look just solid. And we have now a next map coming into play. It is GeForce. Pack and Carl Jr. lost this one against Gravity Pivo.
Yeah, and this is very much the lifeline that Big need to win, absolutely. And they're looking very, very strong on this one, because here's a quick stat for you. They played this map 7 times over the course of the World Championship, and they have a win rate of 87% on this map alone. 6 times out of 7 they actually won it. So this is a very key map right now to try and continue keeping themselves in the game, as we're getting started with round 1 on map 4.
Yeah, so let's go into map number 4. Very, very important map for Massa and Granadi. But look who has the world record here. It is Granadi with a .91. So he looked very strong on this map. We have seen great snipes from Mura here yesterday as well. But let us see who will get the best out of that round. Granadi with a great start here. Massa also not looking too bad here. But Carl Jr. and Pack with good speed themselves right now. So it is all coming down to this first third, so when we see the first mistake being done by Massa.
It's a straight repeat from yesterday there for Massa. At the very first round on this same map, went a little bit too tight and touches the inside of the wall, sending him into a flip. This time he doesn't have to double respawn, so he lost quote-unquote only 1.5 seconds, but it's still plenty of time to need to make actually ground back up. And unfortunate mess up of the ice slide, of the bug slide rather, on the part of Granadi, losing grip midway through, and thus this will be giving the upper hand to Pack and Carl Jr. in a very important opening round for them here on Sector 3.
They cannot save the ending because Massa is only 1.3 seconds behind, so they still have to survive that. But this is looking very solid from Carl Jr. and Pack, hand in hand. They go into the last jump here before the last identity section, and they have it. It is an ace for Solary on Big second pick. Also, not the fastest times. I mean, they could have saved it. Massa caught up 0.4 of a second, so that is something to consider. Solary 3, Big 0.
That is a very unfortunate start to the round into the map for Big right there, with that midway through the ice slide, or bug slide I should say rather, the loss of grip, the stalling as I referred to, where the car just tends to lose grip midway through that slide and almost sent him off of the map. Manages to keep it on the road, but ultimately completely sent him out of contention as we're making our way now through the start of round 2. Granadi Carl side by side heading through the bug slide, the first zoop, and this time it goes clean for Massa, who will be at the tail end of the leading group at the end of Sector 1. Yeah,
very good round here that is developing right now. Granadi and Massa already have to find a victory here to come back a little bit, because an ace just gives you such an advantage though. But Granadi with a beautiful line there. Massa releasing accordingly, can go into the lead here. It is Pack sliding out. Carl Jr. is having a good start, and Massa now batting out of the Pack. Carl Jr. fighting out with Granadi. Let's take a look into the checkpoints. 0.50 here, that is very fast. Massa with a good nose set as well. It is between Carl Jr. and Granadi for that first position. Carl Jr. with the early Granadi with the early air brake, gets a good line there. Oh, but Granadi with a bit of a different line will have lower or less airtime there, and Massa had to respawn. So this is disaster happening for Berlin International Gaming, because Carl Jr. first, Pack third, and that is another victory here, and Solary will extend their lead.
Yeah, things are definitely looking to go south a fair bit quicker than Big would have probably wanted to or expected it to go here versus Solary, and this is going to be somewhat difficult to kind of climb back out of after losing.
They need an ace.
After having given 4 consecutive aces back to back, actually, regardless of maps in this particular series. That's still a very tough ordeal to come back from.
That is true. 4 consecutive aces, and also now Granadi not with a good start, is 0.6 behind there, so Massa has to get that ace, or it has to deny the ace, or even the victory, because then Solary would be up to 7 points here. And let's see what they can do as it is Pack and Carl Jr. leading the round right now. Massa 0.2 behind, and this is so important for Massa to overtake 1 and to also overtake 2 here. Pack can also make a mistake here, but no, it is Massa slowing down very, very early here, but will get a good amount of speed, but misses up the third zoop. But also Carl Jr. with a mistake, but will overtake here. And this is not good here for Berlin International Gaming. 2 individual mistakes.
Sector 2 being the bane of Massa's existence there, having a very, very harsh landing midway through the 180 bobsleigh run, and then having a completely flunked bug slide section afterwards, and that will be promoting Pack with a very, very firm lead. 2-3 seconds, and Carl Jr. unfortunately going way too low, touching at the very top of the barrier, allowing Massa to move up into second place. Granadi way too far back to make a move for third position. It doesn't make it over the side of the barrier, and thus will be forced to respawn. Pack first. Carl, can he make it through the
No, he cannot.
It will be Granadi taking third place. That's a lot of damage if I've ever seen any kind of damage here on GeForce. And
this was so important.
Somehow they managed to salvage a draw. This is so important indeed.
You don't know how important that is. Carl Jr. was ahead. Granadi messed up the jump there. It was a whole back and forth between them, but Big still on life support here with an ace. They are certainly in the map again, and also most importantly, Solary at 6 and not 7 points. 7 points would have been huge for them. And what does it do to someone like Carl Jr., the 5-time world champion, crashing the easiest, like he could have just gone like a bit further to the right there, or steered more to the right there, and now he's behind and also got last in the previous rounds.
Yeah, he could have even afforded to go for the safe way, because it looks like he tried to go for the regular wall ride at the second part of the identity just before the finish line, prompting that turtle moment, which prevented him from finishing at all, which could have still been guaranteeing the Solary win at this point to put them on 7 points. In the meantime, here through this round, Massa, Pack, Granadi, 1, 2, 3. Granadi having a very, very slow entry to the bobsleigh run, thus allowing Carl Jr. to move up into second position. And now we have a 3-way fight for second place at the start of Sector 3. Massa trying to make a bit of a breakaway run for 3-10s down, 3-10s up.
What a great round here. This is so important for Granadi and Massa to get that ace. Carl Jr. with a good amount of speed, but Granadi had it even better. Massa in the lead right now. Pack with a good line as well. This is it, guys. This is so important here for the match. We see a mistake already being done by the 5-time world champion. Who's going to win this round? It is Granadi and Massa with more speed over Pack. And we have a comeback here possible. No! It is Granadi with a mistake. Still finishing, though, on third. But still, this could have been a 6-5, and now it's a 7-4.
7-4. That could have been so much more promising, but yeah, Pack's credit to him. That was a very, very solid entry to that final wall ride, and very unfortunate landing for Granadi. Wrong place, wrong time, really, for the car at the start of the concave part, which effectively just tanked all of his forward momentum, which allowed Pack to have that opportunity to slide through into second place and separate the duo apart.
Yeah, separating the duo apart. Granadi, they're making a mistake, still being able to survive there, 1 second behind. But let's focus on the next one, because Carl Jr. again, Tom, not with the best start here, and we see Granadi and Massa, who can't equalize the score now. Very, very hectic map that is coming into play here. Pack and Carl Jr. look very strong here, and let's see what will this round bring.
All right, on to Sector 2 with Granadi and Massa being about 1.5 tenths apart from each other, and still trailing in hot pursuit. Pack and Carl Jr., we got a really high-speed train right now, which seems to have been somewhat broken apart, with Carl Jr. maybe clipping a little bit at the very edge of the bobsleigh run, heading into Sector 3 now. Moving on to this final sector. Oh, what a huge crash from Granadi, promoting Pack into the lead of the race. Massa still going side by side with the Englishman, heading into the identity now.
Yeah, it is Pack not too far behind. Massa with more speed, but this is so important for Massa to deny that victory to Solary, because then they would move up to 9 points. Massa will have more speed here in exchange. You can see that early landing, how advantageous this is, and Massa will at least deny full disaster happening here. Also with a good time, a 1:12.12. Pack and Carl Jr. on second and third, but again, an individual mistake, kind of the Big from day one, is striking again. It's 8-5. The game is on, but Big have to find a victory in the next round and then need to get an ace.
Yeah, it seems like
other way around.
It seems like it's a little bit of a relapse. This is a completely different break compared to what we've seen yesterday versus G1. Completely different way of trying to play the game, and unfortunately it hasn't seemed to work out that well for them, and so they concede a lot of very unfortunate rounds that could have been really beneficial for them.
Yeah, but the next 2 rounds will decide it here. Granadi and Massa still haven't lost this map, and they have shown a lot of good potential. but I think this could be over now. Granadi overheating a bit too much there on the break, sliding out on the third soup, and Pack and Carl Jr. just have to play the format right. Even 1 point would be huge for them, but they want to go for 2. Massa has nothing to lose. I mean, he has the match to lose, but in this round he has to fully push to deny Pack the victory.
Currently, Pack still holding a pretty steadfast lead of about a 10th of a second compared to Massa. Carl Jr. sitting himself in third place, 2 tenths down. Happy to play the team game right now to sit in that all-important third position to guarantee the victory points for Team Solary right now. Heading into the identity, Massa still waiting to bounce, trying to go for a move.
Good line.
Versus Pack. Good line from Massa indeed. Pack looking to be a little bit on the slower side, trying to go for the low jump on the side of Massa, but doesn't make it through. And you can see the dejection, the nod on his face, completely telling the story. And thus, it will be on an ace that Solary will conclude this map with a 112.058 for Pack, 6 tenths ahead of his teammate Carl Jr. And on a score of 11-5, it will be 3-1 for Solary in this series, and already having 2 Joker maps that they can use to actually see Big coming back and try to book their spot in the semifinals.
Yeah, such a huge win here from Solary. Big with a very good pick and ban, but they also have to play out their cards right. So it did not work out eventually for them. And let's move to map number 5, which is Edge. So RPG coming into play. Massa and Granadi looked very good on this map, and that's why I also thought that the pick and ban is being won by them. So the series it's not over just yet, but they have to perform. And we also have a tactical pause here. I think on the side of Big, that would just make sense here in that way, so
yeah,
they're gonna discuss it.
You can already see Amaterasu, well, a little bit smiles regardless in the big camp on the side of Ama, trying to keep the spirits up from the players, which is always important, but also trying to it's not so much about keeping the spirits up, but also trying to find yourself a little bit of time to settle down. Maybe just a bit of a breather. Sometimes 30 seconds is all you need to try and get yourself back in the groove, and then maybe we'll see a completely different Big here on Edge, and they do need to do that, as if Solary wins this map, it is game over for them. They will be validated as top 5-6 of this World Championship, and this is a very, very spectacular map to watch with a very consistent theme all the way through and plenty of tricks up the sleeve of the map to kind of catch some drivers out that are not really prepared.
Yeah, this is a very hard map. We have seen a great performance by Gwen on this map, having the top 5 fastest times here that we're driving in a match, but also the average from Solary is just outstanding on this map. Being the first team here, only at 1.5 seconds behind the world record. Pack has the best time from his team, a 1:04.29. But look at that, Massa already with the first mistake, and we see Pack and Carl Jr. swarming out in the first position, fighting it out with a wheel player who is not too far behind, clips there a little bit and lost a lot of speed. So Solary off to a very comfortable start.
That touch at the inside of the corner just after checkpoint 2 from Massa is certainly not helping Big's cause. It's all down to Granadi to try and salvage something from this somewhat sticky situation. And currently, Pack and Carl having a really, really solid advantage of 7 tenths compared to the nearest Berlin International Gaming player. Currently, it is Pack leading his fellow teammate Carl by about 2 tenths. Nice low line from Granadi, but it's not enough to really slash the gap in any consequential way to enable him to make an impact. And thus, it will start off with an ace for Solary with a .482 for Pack, 83 thousandths ahead of his teammate, 3-0 for Solary after round 1.
Both Pack and Carl Jr. beating Massa's match PB there, so very good time from them. Only Granadi can really keep up with that pace with a PB of .248, 6th fastest time that we have seen on this map here from Granadi. But he needs to rely on his teammate, or even on mistakes from very solid Pack and Carl Jr. I mean, it's their last pick in this series, and it works out very well for them here in this first round. Round 2 already very decisive for the series.
Their map pick seeming to work like a charm and perfectly adapted to being more of a late stage kind of pick in case Big manages to get one map of theirs, and it was the case here in this particular matchup. And now we see Carl Jr. and Pack currently having Granadi and Massa trying to pick up the pieces, trying to mount something a little bit from the remnants of what they had a little bit earlier on during the match. Granadi putting up a good fight versus Carl Jr., continuing to hold the lead by about a 10th, and now Massa getting a little bit of a wardage edgewise for the benefit of P3 heading into the transfer.
Yeah, edgewise, no pun intended there, Geek, as Massa didn't get the best speed there, but Granadi is leading. Oh, Massa not with the best amount of speed. Carl Jr. coming a bit closer here as well. Massa with actually a good line there, but it's not enough. But look at that round. Every player below 105, but it's the draw. And of course, tremendously advantageous for Team Solary. Just keeping that gap of 3 points there.
Trying to go all in Masa. You can see it on the right-hand side of the screen. Trying to go for a bit more of a direct line to touch on the side and have the more direct line through the final chicane before the finish line. But ultimately, it did not pay off the way that he would have liked it to. And we're now heading into our third round here with still 3 points of a lead for Solary, heading through the first sector's final turn, being that 180 platform where you can go a little bit too far inside and clip with the inside wheels. Pack, Masa, Carl Jr., Granadi, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the end of Sector 1.
Yeah, still a very good round here because Pack didn't get the best amount of speed out of that corner, going so inside there in this small tunnel section. But Masa, again, falling a bit further behind, so it's the wheel player fighting it out with Pack and Carl Jr. 6 World Championship titles under their belt, 6 TMGL titles as well, and they are just, again, doing it here. First and second for them. This could be a 7-1 scoreline after that.
Well, 10th behind, we find Granadi continuing to try and hold on for dear life, trying to go for a lower line as low as possible through the transfer to try and catch up at the very least to the nearest Solary player. But then, with the extra speed they accumulate, Solary just streaks ahead. And thus it will be the second ace in 3 rounds for Solary, with Granadi getting so close to hitting on the corner. 0.282 for Pack. Again, another really, really strong time from the Englishman, a 10th and a half ahead of his teammates. And we are now on match point.
But also Carl Jr., 0.15 behind, setting at just a 0.42. So Pack with a great time there, but Carl Jr. just, you know, placed the format right, does enough to stay ahead of Granadi there. So very nice. It is match point already here. Carl Jr. and Pack could take it home with an ace.
They could take it home with an ace. Right now, it's Granadi trying to extract at the very least one more round here for Big to try and get some momentum back going their way. But Masa also needs to try and do something to try and catch back up to the leading trio. He goes very, very wide and very far on the ramp jump, but doesn't manage to take advantage of the speed accumulated through that, and that's a very unfortunate clip from Granadi, and this is very much the point of no return now.
Yeah, point of no return it is here, as Masa has to rely on his sheer skill and also on mistakes from Pack and Carl Jr. Else this match is over. This was actually a very, very quick one then, as Masa has to push it. Pack and Carl Jr., all they need is first and second place, but Masa with a good line here. Carl Jr. going for a lower jump there. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but Pack and Carl Jr. have to concede that first position to Masa. He will deny Solary the victory for now with a new PB of a 0.51. Masa performing when it matters, but Big on life support.
Big survives for one more round, but for how long can they keep this up? Right now, the clock is ticking, and it is ticking really, really fast. 8-2 for Solary. All they need is a victory at this point to close this match out. 4-1 and to bag a spot in the semifinals. Big need to pull out all the stops and really start driving out of their minds if they want to pose a threat to Solary at this very moment. Right now, first sector done. It will be Pack in the lead ahead of Carl Jr. taking second place, who's going toe-to-toe with Masa before the jump.
Toe-to-toe to Masa before the jump. Indeed, they're Geek, but Pack and Carl Jr. needing first and third. Granadi not with the best start here. It is Masa who has to push it again. He has to do the unthinkable here again. But Pack and Carl Jr. are in the lead. Neck and neck they are. Oh, but I do think that Carl Jr. had to respawn. Yes, he has. So it is still one more chance here for Masa and Granadi.
Granadi also taking advantage, of course, of that mistake from Carl Jr., who's forced to respawn so far back, and he's continued to having a respawn. 5 to 6 seconds conceded there by that mistake from the Canadian, and you can see Masa trying to go for a low line, and Pack actually clipping. That is going to be promoting Granadi to second place, most likely. Yes, it is, and thus it will be an ace for Big, courtesy of the mistakes, part of Carl Jr. and Pack. That is very, very important, but that opportunity is coming once in the blue moon versus Solary.
Once in a blue moon, indeed. Reminds me a little bit of the mistakes that we have seen from Gamers First on day number 1. Pack and Carl Jr., they had it, but Big now with the ace. They're still in the match, and the momentum heavily swings towards them. Even though Pack and Carl Jr. had such a good pace in the last 2 rounds, they were not able to find 3 points. Only 1 point in the last 2 rounds for them. But still, Big has to catch up a lot more than that. They have to get another ace to stay alive.
Still a lot more work to do, and a pretty steep hill to climb right now for the red side team. Currently sitting in 3rd and 4th at the split at the end of sector number 1. Going through the jump right now with Pack and Masa, 1st and 2nd, trying to put a little bit of a gap on 3rd and 4th. Currently it's CJR trying to battle versus Granadi. Masa and Pack still going at it, wheel to wheel, heading through the bridge section before the reverse part. Now moving on to that said reverse, going very, very high on the side of CJR, trying to get a little bit more speed downwards. Very, very close entry here for the reverse ramp, and onto sector 3 we go. At the split, it will be Granadi going up into 2nd place and now trying to mount a challenge versus his teammate Masa, maybe even Pack for the lead.
What a great round we are witnessing here. Massa and Granati inside of each other and overtaking Pack here. Can they do it again? This is looking really good. Pack with a lot of speed though, but didn't get the best entry into this raw white section there. Granati and Massa will do it. They will get another ace here. What a round was that. Massa with another PB. It is 8-8. Track versus match point. Big with an insane performance in the last 3 rounds.
That is a scream of determination from Massa there. Yeah, that is a very, very important round that they just picked up, because they went from being 6 points down to have even the scales in the space of just 2 rounds. Right now, it's a little bit more of a rocky start. They're currently hitting a little bit of turbulence with Granati's slight mishap at the start section, which forces him to respawn, even to add insult to injury, as we're going to be focusing on Massa through the end of Sector 1. It's on his shoulders that the hopes of Big rest.
First or bust, else this match here is over. But Pack gets a great section there. A lot of speed has been accumulated, but he clips. So 1 bullet down here for Solary. Carl Jr. still in the lead though, but Massa has been performing so good on this map here, Tom. And look at that. The fight is ongoing here between the 5-time world champion and Massa, the friends. Massa going for a bit more speed there even. And let's see if he can snipe Carl Jr. in the ending. If not, this match is over.
The low transfer from Massa will potentially give him a solid opportunity, but actually Carl Jr. compensates for that with much better exit speed and thus continues to hold on that first place. Massa cannot do anything but pray for a mishap in the final corner, but it will not happen. And with the 1-3 at the line, it will be a 10-9 scoreline here on this map. And Solary, with a 4-1 series, bagged their spot in the semifinals, and you can already see the handshake for both the legendary teammates.
Oh, but the game plan here for Big almost worked out. As I was proposing it beforehand, Edge was not a bad map for them. 10-9 in the ending. And, you know, just consider, GeForce would have been won by Big. We would have had a leader. So this is just insane. But yeah, we're gonna have a winner's interview now. So we're gonna see you with either Pack or Carl Jr.
Yeah, either Pack or Carl Jr. are going to be making their way to the interview room. So yeah, just a quick rundown as you just joined in. 4-1, the victory then for Team Solary versus Berlin International Gaming. A very, very solid display on the side of Carl Jr. and Pack, and some unfortunate mistakes here and there on the individual side for Berlin International Gaming that ultimately cost them some solid maps, including their own pick, GeForce, which was a very, very important map to win. And yeah, that's ultimately cost them any chance of making it through to the semi-final. Top 5, top 6 will be their final placing, and I think we are just about ready to go with our winners interview with both Carl Jr. and Pack. At the mic with Lucker Serbo.
All right, I have Pack and Carl Jr. here with me. Firstly, congratulations. Quite hectic match. I mean, pick and ban went very fast, actually. What were you thinking after that quite unconventional pick from Big?
I think, well, for me, when they picked it so quick, I thought, oh god, they've got something planned there. And they were incredible on it. It's just, yeah, good pick from them, and I was happy with the rest of the picks and bans. I would have, preferred a certain map in, but otherwise, I think it was good. We performed really well, and yeah, we came out winners, which is good.
I think the first 2 maps, the Cosmos and also the pick, in this case Dive, ran really good for both teams, and then it come all down to GeForce. So I think this was a map that was also good for you guys, but I think Big, they picked it, so were you also like not scared, but I mean, if it would have been 2-2, I think this could have all the way gone down to a 7 map match.
You mean Edge there or GeForce?
Yeah, GeForce,
yeah. Yeah, well, I felt GeForce was strong for them. Granati's been incredible on it. And I just knew Carl could be consistent, and I could put out some times whenever it was needed. And, it kind of paid off. I'm happy with where we got. And, yeah, Edge was just, horrible. Pass over to Carl.
Yeah, Edge, like those 2 aces in a row. Oh, man. You had it there. It kind of reminded me of G1 from day number 1. So what does it do to the mental? Are you scared going to the next round of the next corner then, or do you just pass it on?
Thing is, I don't know if you remember TMGL against Big in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We lost the 9-2. Control. We lost the 9-2. And we're like, no, not again. We don't throw this. And then we didn't throw it, so we were happy about it. But Big is really hard to play because Grenadier has the same style as me, so he's always there. It's annoying. It's annoying for me because, well, we are basically the same player game-wise.
Yeah,
So it's really hard for me to adapt to them.
Yeah, but also then Massa just playing out of his mind, setting PB after PB on this map. So they played really well, and I think it could have also been 3-2 at this point for Big if it just went in their way like yesterday, and then of course the game was on. But now looking into the next match, you're gonna play against Alliance, and I mean you're showing a great performance, but what do you adapt? What are you doing? Are you just chilling now, or will you just play and practice?
Well, we'll ban dive, I guess.
All right, I mean that was a short and quick answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, but congratulations again to both of you, and good luck in your next match.
Thanks.
Okay, so guys, we will be back after a 15-minute break with the next match, which will be KC versus Wild.
Run it up.